Okay, my name's Benjamin Lewis. I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Medical Science with honours as part of the MBBS course. Yeah, so the BMedSc Honours program is a program for students who have completed at least 2 years of the MBBS, and really it's designed to allow students to experience research in some sort of capacity. So students partake throughout the course of a year in any number of different projects, and they can range from sort of a clinical trial like the one that I'm doing to sort of data collecting, data analysis sorts of projects. And so there's a whole range of different projects to choose from, and basically that rests with the interests of the individual student as to what project they'd like to do. So I enrolled in the BMedSc program for a number of different reasons, in the same way as I chose to study medicine. I reached the end of third year and was sort of thinking about whether or not I would like to specialise in something and what that specialty might be. And I'd read a few books by an author called Oliver Sacks, who writes a lot about neurology and different sort of case studies around neurology, and I started getting interested in things to do with the brain. And so at the end of third year, I can remember it very well actually, I was sort of sitting down the beach thinking about this, and I thought if I'm interested in any specialty at all, it would probably be something to do with psychiatry or neurology. One major thing about the BMedSc is that it really is quite a steep learning curve, so you learn all sorts of things throughout the year. In relation to your project specifically, but also all sorts of different skills about research itself. So you learn how to critically analyse evidence, and you have to compile a literature review as the other main part of your assessment throughout the year. And so that teaches you all sorts of things about reading literature, reviewing literature, and as I say, analysing the sorts of results of different studies, which I think is really important for medical students and doctors as well. In addition, obviously, depending on your specific project, you become sort of a mini expert, or you're supposed to become a mini expert in whatever field you're doing your project in. And so I've learnt a lot about the technology behind transcranial magnetic stimulation, and also specifically about the disorder of schizophrenia, which is the disorder that we're actually studying. Yeah, so I think one of the great things about being at the Alfred and being part of a larger sort of clinical school is, as you say, being able to be part of a research community and being able to discuss how your project's going with other students who are conducting similar projects, being able to discuss perhaps some of the challenges you face throughout the year, some of the real difficulties, maybe being able to discuss and compare projects and discuss issues and perhaps challenges you're facing with your supervisor. So having a sort of supportive base and being part of a larger group, I think, really helps in that respect. There is an option with the BMedSc, if you do particularly well, to extend it out another 2 years and actually turn it into a PhD. And I think a few students have chosen to do that, and that's sort of becoming an increasing thing. I think the main reason you should be doing something like the BMedSc is because you have an interest in research and a particular interest in the project that you choose. Because it is a long year, it is quite a hard year, and you have to, as I say, sit and sift through data and analyse data and look at a lot of the background to what you're doing. And so if you really don't have much of an interest in your project, that can be very, very difficult and very boring. So the approach I would take is to ask yourself, am I really interested in research? Am I interested in a particular aspect of medicine, and do I want to focus on that? And if the answer to that is yes, then you'll love the BMedSc. But really ask yourself that question, I think. Can I really rule out research if I haven't actually tried it or experienced it yet? And I think that's another good reason to think about something like the BMedSc. It's to really experience that aspect of medicine so you can decide for yourself whether you really would like research. Because it is a big part of what we do as medical practitioners. I think it's an important part of what we do. And I think it's an important thing to experience.